Hello student, welcome to all of you. This is the second chapter of your English book with Flamingo, and the chapter name is Lost Spring. And this Lost Spring is taken by stories of stolen childhood, and this book is written by Anis Jung. So let's see about the author. Anis Jung was born in Rourkela and spent her childhood and adolescence in Hyderabad. She received her education in Hyderabad and in the United States of America. Her parents were both writers. Anis Jung began her career as a writer in India. She has been an editor and columnist for major newspapers in India and abroad, and has authored several books. The following is an script from her book titled Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here she analyzed the grinding poverty and traditions which condemn these children to a life of exploitations. So this story belongs to the rag pickers, and although this story is divided in two parts, first part belongs to the rag pickers boys who searching gold in the dumped areas, while the other stories belong to the Mukesh. The main character of the story is Mukesh, and he belonged to the Firozabad. The Bengal industry is famous here. So let's see the first part of the story. Sometimes I find a rupees in the garbage. Why do you do this? Asked Saheb, whom I encounter every morning scrounging for gold in the garbage dump of my neighborhood. Saheb left his home long ago, said amidst the green field of Dhaka. His home is not even a distant memory. There were many storms that swept away their field and homes. His mother tells him that's why they left, looking for gold in the big city where he now lives. So here is the story of a boy. He is rag pickers and he always searching something in the dumped area of garbage. And one day writers Anis Jung saw this boy. So writers began conversation with that boy whose name is Sahib Alam. So now writers ask him, why do you do this? So Sahib answered him, I encounter every morning searching for gold in the garbage dump of my neighborhood. Sahib left his home ago, and Sahib the boy, the rag pickers, he had left his home ago. उसने बहुत पहले अपने घर को छोड़ दिया है, and his home was in Dhaka and it was situated in the amidst lush greenery areas. And this memory of his home is still in his mind, as the story was told by his mother, that storms always washed their homes. That's why they had to left their home and had to settle in this big city which is known as Delhi. I have nothing else to do, he mutters, looking away. Now the writer asks him, why don't you do something else? He answered, I have nothing else to do. Go to school, I say, glibly, realizing immediately how hollow the advice must sound. Now the writers ask him, go to school. Would you like to go to school? The boy answered, no, not yet. Although the question asked by the writer realized that it is not the right way to ask him like this way. There is no school in my neighborhood. When they build one, I will go. And the answer that was given by Sahib was that no, he did not go to school because there were no school in his neighborhood. And when it too would made, he will definitely go. If I start a school, will you come? I ask him, half joking. Yes, he says, smiling broadly. Now the writer asks him, if I start a school, would you like to join us? Now the boy says, yes, of course. And he was with a smile on his face. He says, yes, of course I will. A few days later, I see him running up to me, is your school ready? And after some days later, the boy came towards to the writers and asked him, is your school is ready? It takes longer to build a school, I say, embarrassed at having made a promise that was not meant. But promises like mine about in every corner of his bleak world. Now, when the boy asked him, is your school ready? The writer felt embarrassed because his promise was false. It was no mean. But writer also realized that this boy's world is full of this kind of false promises. There is no value of these kind of promises in this boys. After months of knowing him, I asked him his name, Saibe Alam. He announced. After so many conversations, writers came to know that the boy's name is Saibe Alam, as it was told by him. He does not know what it means. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the Universe, he would have a hard time believing it. Now the writer says that I hope this boy is unaware with the meaning of the name with his names. You know, Saibi Alam is Lord of Universe, and what is the fate of this boy that he is doing this kind of job? Unaware of what his name represents, he roams the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. The writer says that this boy's name is Saibe Alam. Saibe Alam means Lord of the Universe. But what is the situation? What is the fate of this boy? That he is running here and there like so many boys who have nothing to do, and also barefoot boys, and these boys looking in the morning like a birds and disappear at the noon. Over the months I have come to recognize each of them. After so many conversations for so many days, the writers come to know he that the writer began to recognize each children of that group who were rag pickers. Why aren't you wearing chappals? I asked one. Such one day the writer asked the boys who were there, and the writer asked him why there is no chappals in your food. My mother did not bring them down from the shelf, he answered simply. Now the one boy answered the writer that his mother did not bring them down from the shelf. Even if she did, he will throw them off, adds another, who is wearing shoes that do not match. When I comment on it, he shuffles his feet and says nothing. I want shoes, says a third boy who had never owned a pair all his life, traveling across the country. Now, another boy answered the writer that if his mother don't bring these shoes down, he will definitely throw them off. Now, another boy who had not wear these same matchable shoes answer. When I comment on it, he shuffles his feet on says nothing. I want shoes, says the third boy who had never owned a pair all his life. And another boy answered that I want shoes. Also, the boys had never owned a pair of in his life. Traveling across the country, I have seen children walking barefoot in cities, on village roads. It is not lack of money but a tradition to stay barefoot is one explanation. So now the writer describes here that while traveling to across the country, she came to know so many children, so many peoples in the cities as well as in the villages. They were barefoot. They were like to stay barefoot, as it is expression of given by one person. I wonder if this is only an excuse to explain away a perpetual state of poverty. Now the writer thinking over that actually why it is happening because of a tradition. Yeah, just to a excuse of poverty that is never ending. I remember a story a man from Udupi once told me. As a young boy, he would go to school past an old temple where his father was a priest. He would stop briefly at the temple and pray for a pair of shoes. Now, here the writer describes that once he met a man from Udupi. Udupi is a space, area that is situated in Karnataka. So here is a man who told a story of his life that once when he was a young boy, he used to go to temple and pray to God so that he can get a pair of shoes, and that's why always he pray in the temple. So 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple which was now drawn it. 30 years later, I visited his town and the temple which was now drowned in an air of desolations in the backyard where lived the new priest. There were red and white plastic chairs, a young boy dressed in a grey wearing socks and shoes arrived painting and threw his school bags on a folding bed. Now, after 30 years, the writer visited his city Udupi, and the condition is atmosphere is totally changed. Now, the temple's backyard, where lived new priest, the a new priest have comes. There were red and white plastic chairs have taken place. The place a young boy dressed in a grey uniform wear socks and shoes arrived painting and threw his school bag on a folding bed. Means the situation, the atmospheres and condition. In fact, the social economical changes has also come now in this city. Now the boy who was praying for a pair of shoes, now it has been totally changed, and a boy who is in a well dress up shoes and socks, he is coming after throwing his bags on a folding bed looking at the boy. I remembered the prayer another boy had made to the goddess when he had finally got a pair of shoes. Now seeing this boy who is in a totally dress up, the writer remembered the boys who is still in a barefoot and also suffering for their livelihood. Let me never lose them. The goddess had granted his prayer. Young boys like the son of the priest now wore shoes. Now, I think the writer says the goddess had not denied the prayer of the boys, and the boys also had shoes. The boy who was of the priest, but many others like the rag pickers in my neighborhood remain shoeless. But there are many boys, there are many rag pickers who are still shoeless. They have not so enough money that they can buy their shoes.